So I was very moved in a way when Susan had seen it by image, and then we went to Brussels, and it was kind of in this capsule, you know, so, and you know, and it's still alive, and it's still a piece. It's very. It was the statement I guess I was making at that time was it was like this full-on monument. I'm really interested by monuments, by making monuments that the world doesn't want, because you make them so big, the world feels like it's got to deal with them, because you know it's like you're making. It's like making a bridge or something, you know, and trying to give it to a city or something like that. So I think, you know, there's that drama. Where does the artist, where does the sculptor fit to some extent, and where do the monuments fit, you know? And it's amazing how angry people get if you make a large sculpture, right? They say, why have you done this? What are you doing? Yet no one ever questions, like, you know, a giant McDonald's that gets built or some insane bomb that we're building or whatever. But that act of making a sculpture, because it's so pointless. So in your everyday life, absolutely everything you look at has a point, right? You know, this is made for a point, that's made for a point, that chair is made for a point, blah, blah, blah. And a sculpture is absurd. That absurdity is acted out in a sculpture. And so it really doesn't matter that it's figurative, or it's abstract, or it's conceptual, or it's surreal, or blah, blah, blah. It's that action again of handing back the world the absurdity of art, and the fact that as an artist, you think the world needs art. That's my argument, it's my thing. So I don't know if this doesn't make any sense, but so in the case of the sculpture, this was my first effort in a way to say, hey, you know, and it was incredibly unlikely. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that we're standing here and this still exists. It's against all odds, let's say something like that. I really believe that, you know, sculpture is a kind of form of performance too, you know, it kind of records a series of actions, a series of thoughts, and a series of, and I like that, you know, I like Jeff Koons just great, but I'm from a different tradition. I really believe in this idea, like, that act of showing someone that you manipulate material has quite fundamental implications, something like that. So in this case, it's kind of like from Mars, this sculpture, in a weird way. Like it's like Jacob Epstein's Star Wars cousin, something like that. And I really strongly believe that, you know, that my generation, discover modernist art through pop culture, which is a very different progression. Which is, I didn't discover Picasso through Picasso, I discovered Picasso through cartoons. I discovered Jacob Epstein through Darth Vader. You see what I mean? I discovered African art, tribal art through pop. It's a different, you know, I can't ever let go of the fact that my first visual things were cartoons and movies and all that. So somehow that's something you can't escape from, you know. And it's funny, one of the installers here, I had lunch with him and he said to me, is this sculpture about the movie 300? Because I think all the pieces come from this movie. I thought it was brilliant. I said, yeah, probably, and I think it probably is, Jason, the Argonauts, all these things, you know, some kind of heroic, utopic thing of sculpture. So anyway, in this case, it's like a kind of amalgam pieces. This leg I didn't make for the sculpture, let's say. This head I was making for something else. You can see I used wood. I just used a chunk of wood and I was kind of propping it up. So this is wood, cast wood, and so the piece is kind of like a found object. It's kind of like a salvage or something like that. In this room, we wanted to it's kind of an echo chamber of that. Like you can really, this is probably the most like, to some extent, it's almost like this is how the genesis happens. So this is how the process happens. So in this case, there's a number of sculptures in here that my daughter literally asked me to make. She said to me, would you make an owl, for example? So I made an owl, you know, and then you realize you're going to make an owl, or you know, or she'll tell me to make a funny face, and stuff. So then you know, and that becomes, of course, like the more open you are, the more honest with yourself, then you realize how important these kind of moments are. And so, in this case, you can see these are drawings I made